The following program is paid for by DeFalco Advertising and does not represent views and opinions of WCGV.
I will say, let's make this one the best one yet, guys. We are all set to go.
No, you did start recording.
Yeah, you are recording.
We are recording a 3, 2, 1. Okay, we've been recording now for about 5 minutes. Welcome, everyone, to week 27 of the 52-week review on Face Off. This is not week 28, but week 27. This is the writing.
I don't know what week it is.
Yeah, well, I do. It's week 27. We're talking about the words behind Facing the Words. Face Off Words, 1997. I'd just like to extend a very happy Bankerter Day to all of us, and a very special Bankerter welcome to our sponsor, and that's the Leather Belts Liquidation Center. They say you can enjoy liquid leather belts, shop and slurp in one of the many underwater bistro pubs. Kids can enjoy time in the kids zone belt area. Sorry, parents, no adults allowed. So unless you're like one of those like teenage parents, you probably won't know what happens in the belt zone. Well, this week we are focusing on the writers of Face Off 1997, the collaborative duo of Mike Werb and Michael Colleary, and Cholera. Sorry.
The two mics.
The dialogue. Some of the best dialogue ever is in Face Off. Some of the most quotable lines. It's like looking in a mirror, only not. All right, I have quoted that so many drunken nights you will not even believe.
Oh, I believe.
Great action dialogue, great spicy one-liners, and yet there are so many plot holes in this movie. What the hell happened?
Biggest plot hole is it's called Face Off, but it's clearly a whole body off. Otherwise, Joan Allen has no idea what her husband's.
Yeah.
So the plot hole being how did switching their face manage to change their entire body?
Their entire body, including height and like.
It's like a very small part of the entire body.
Or should the question be, why didn't they address whether or not changing their face changed their whole body or didn't change the body?
No, they do. They do say that. They do say like in that one-liner. It's like that one classic. I forget what it was. It's like there's a line for it.
Well, they say like they're going to sculpt their body with like a laser or something.
So just that one line just covers all of that. It's great.
Yeah,
so Face Off is really just for the title then.
I mean, Body Off is a shit title.
Funny, we should do a comedy, fellas. Okay, imagine this, right? It's literally Face Off. And so it's like the same bodies as the other people, but they just have the different faces, and you just deep fake it or whatever. And it would be like, no, I can just like that would be crazy because like everyone who would see them is like, what the hell is going on? It would be Face Off as it was intended to be.
Speaking of this as a comedy, do you guys know what Mike Werb wrote before he wrote Face Off on his own?
Yeah, he wrote. I do know. He wrote The Mask.
He wrote The Mask in 1994.
Yeah.
That was a huge hit, man.
Do you think The Mask came out and was a hit, and Werb was just like, that's what I'm doing forever now. I'm just doing swap face.
Masks and face movies.
Yeah. Did Darkman 3 after that, and then Face Off.
No, you know what? You know what? That might have the greatest title actually ever. Die, Darkman, Die.
I think in terms of the writing, like the concept is really what stands out, right? Like more so than anything else. I mean, there are some good lines, you're right. But whether or not they wrote the lines, the writers themselves, or maybe, Cage or Travolta ad-libbed a little bit here and there. Like,
well, the chin line, like where did that come from, right?
Well, yeah, there's like 100 different stories on whether or not that chin line, who came up with it, and like Chingate, we never actually got around to it. Maybe
did we ever do Chingate?
No, we never did Chingate.
Chingate.
We could do the next 26 episodes.
I couldn't find like how their relationship worked in terms of like their writing partnership, but they did come together with that Darkman film because looking at their filmography, that's when things synced up, and they stayed together for like the next 10 or 12 years until working on everything pretty much together until their series A Natural History ended in 2010.
Anyways, happy Dankerder Day to you all. And we are talking about the writing behind Face Off. Mike Werb and Michael Colleary.
We were talking about their partnership and their relationship and how that got together. And
we're talking about the...
Oh, no, we're not talking about... What are we talking about, Chris?
What is going on with Mike Werb? He is obsessed with like video game kind of like comic book stuff. A, Tekken, 2009, unscripted work. Okay. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Darkman 3, The Mask. Like all of this stuff is like weird, supernatural, kind of comic booky. Like, how much credit can you really take for it for a story when there's been like 9 video games with all story-driven, plots?
Hang on, I did find something interesting in the Daily News. I have no idea if that's reputable.
It's like what, the Spider-Man newspaper?
Yeah.
The Daily Bugle. Yeah.
So it says when the two Mikes were working together in 1990, they decided to collaborate on a script. They had a mutual friend who had been in a terrible car accident. His face was caved in order to repair the damage behind his face. The surgeons had to literally remove his face, do the repairs, and sew his face back on. And he came out much more handsome than he was before the surgery. And then they later wrote the face-off script.
Nicolas Cage turns into John Travolta.
Either you just found like the most important piece of information about the entire thing of Face Off.
I think we just figured out.
Or that's bullshit. Or that's bullshit. That article is basically suggesting that what happened to their friend was the impetus for what would then become Face Off. Anyway, I think Face Off is probably their best film, although The Mask is damn good. And first of all, that's just one. It's just Mike Werb's film. That's just So together, Face Off is definitely
dragging him down.
Yeah.
I just wonder how much of Jim Carrey's in The Mask. You know what I mean?
That's true too. I mean, without Jim Carrey, how good of a film is that? But then again, without Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, how good of a film is Face Off?
And John Woo.
Honestly, I feel like they could have been interchangeable with Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I would watch it. It'd be a very different movie if I was to watch it. I think as long as John Woo's involved.
I'm just a normal American father.
But say it was like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. All of a sudden, we're in a really bad situation, folks. And this movie's not making it.
Honestly, I would love to see... If they could do Face Off 2 with Steven Seagal, that would it would make my life
blow your mind. Well, I mean, ultimately, did these guys do a good job? I'd say so. They did pretty good. Like, it was really their only true moment of real success that they did themselves in terms of being writers and also producers on the
Well, they were riding high after that, that's for sure, because Tomb Raider would have been a big property. A lot of money. That's probably when they made the most money, was going into Tomb Raider.
Their careers have continued to this day, so again, all the power to them, but it definitely has fallen off much like Dominique Swain kind of did, right? Like, she continues to work, but it's not a thing you really want to watch.
Michael Colleary, let's talk about Michael Colleary for a second. All right, so he did Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Oh, yeah. And he was also co-producer of Face Off. So let's not forget that as well. Bunch of crap after, though.
Hey, that's pretty good.